All right, Dr. Reese live every Tuesday, 6 p.m. for 3 years now. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, we have our members here in the Zoom room from all over the world: the United States, the UK, New Zealand, Japan, Australia, South Africa, South America. Am I missing any places? Canada. We have people from all over the world. And I will come to you in about 20 or 30 minutes. And I want you to think of any victories you may have had over the last week, anything that you want to share, even if it's something small or something big. We want to hear about it. We want to know about it. We want other people to know about it so that they can understand what is happening here with head to toe healing. This is the new phenomenon. This is the new thing that's happening. This is the other option besides the medical monopoly. And I'm also happy to say that we have merch now. We got accepted into Amazon program, which was surprising. So now we can put merch on Amazon with the books, which is very, very cool. And obviously we would make more if we just did it ourselves, but this is very convenient. You know, I got 10 books on Amazon. I might as well have 10 t-shirts too. Why not? But right now we have the I Love My Fake Doctor t-shirt. We have the Wanted Dead or Alive t-shirt. We got the I Love My Fake Doctor tote bag, so you can put your groceries in it.
Coffee cup too.
Oh, I see Don is holding up the bumper sticker. I Love My Fake Doctor bumper sticker. Yeah. So that's all available on drkevinreese.com. It's funny, you know, I've been out here for 3 years, taking a beating from strangers, and they still don't get it. Just the other night on TikTok, somebody said, he's not a real doctor. And I'm like, duh. Go to drkevinreese.com and get I Love My Fake Doctor t-shirt. Like, you know, there's nothing hidden here. You know, oh, look at that. Janet's got the t-shirt on. Look at that. That is so cool. You know, that's inspired by you, Janet, because for all these years you've been, that's my fake doctor. So very cool. I appreciate you getting that t-shirt. See that? A t-shirt. All right. Very cool. So before we get to the members and hear about your victories or any personal questions, we're going to go to the public and see what's going on out there so we can try and help people who are a little lost right now. And they're looking for an answer. And I believe that that answer is head to toe healing. And I believe that it's just going to take a while because it's so different and unique. And there's so many people that don't understand it. They just don't understand it. They don't understand what's happening. And so they need that. They need the light bulb to go off, you know, and then they can get their analysis and they can join the membership. And boom, we just put a new page on drkevinreese.com that explains the membership. So that is a really good place to look, see the testimonies. The testimonies are pretty emotional, you know, just to see people healing from a membership. I mean, that's very cool. So anyway, Coach Sean. Well, first of all, where's everyone checking in from? On the TT, where are you checking in from? What country? What city? What state? The FB, the IG, the YT, the Rumble. Where's everyone from? Where's everyone from? Yeah. It's so funny. One of the biggest questions I'm always asked is, where are you located? On Zoom. That's where I'm located. That's a good response, too. On Zoom. This is worldwide. This is worldwide. The need for an appointment is over. It's over. It's over. The need for specialists is over. It's over. The need for unnecessary surgeries is over. It's over. Head to toe healing is the answer. That's it. It's a process. It's a verb. It's a river. It moves. You have to keep doing it. Your symptoms are going to go up or they're going to go down. If you keep practicing, your symptoms go down. If you stop practicing, your symptoms go up. It's just that simple. It's like golf. The lowest score wins. And that's what it's like with head to toe healing. You want your score low. I always say if you're under a 5, you're winning. If you're under a 5, you're winning. If you're a 30 or over, you're a hot mess. So you got to put in the work to get back, to get down to a 5. And at one point in your life, you were under a 5. You were. Maybe it was when you were 5 years old, but you were under a 5. You were normal. You were living pain and drug free. And then we got all messed up. So now we're reversing that. We're getting people back to where they need to be with head to toe healing. But you need to know your symptom score. And the only way to do that is through the analysis. So you go to calldrreese.com and make an appointment to talk to our coaches. Very simple. Calldrreese.com. All right, Sean, do we have anything? Do we have any questions?
Yeah, we got a couple of questions. Snickers 1980 is asking, I eat healthy and I eat organic all the time. I still have acid reflux. What can I do?
Well, eating healthy is an opinion. So we don't really know if you're eating healthy. You could be putting olive oil on your salad, and we don't consider that healthy. So acid reflux is a very, very easy condition to reverse. It takes about 2 weeks, if that. And we have that protocol we have that course in our membership. So you have to make your way into the membership. But the acid reflux is coming from a lack of acid. It's not too much acid, it's too little acid. You need acid to break down your food. And so you need head to toe healing, I'm sure, Snickers. I'm sure you have other symptoms. I guarantee it. Next.
Another question from Cureen is saying, when will your books be available in ebook format in Australia?
They should be available now. All 10 of them are available as paperbacks and ebooks. It's the audiobook that we're still waiting for medical monopoly. They have not approved us yet. We don't know why. You can assume why. You can assume why, because this is the controversial one, right? But we're just waiting for the Red Book to become available on Audible, and all 10 will be available, and then we'll start promoting them. Next.
Twixen is saying, I'm begging my brother who has been suffering for 18 months to get in touch with you. I know it's not much of a question, but I just wanted to kind of direct them where they could direct their brother to start that cycle of, repairing whatever they're going through.
Yeah. So 2 things come to mind. Number 1, you give them the Red Book. The Red Book is the waker upper. Okay? If they're not willing to read that, then they probably don't want help. And you just got to wish them well and pray for them and walk away. What else are you going to do? It's not your job to convince anyone. You just give them your opinion once or twice, and that's it. Don't stress yourself out. If this person is serious, then they will make an appointment with us at calldrreese.com. But even that is suspect too, because if you get, if you're that cold and you don't know anything, you don't know who Dr. Reese is, you don't know what head to toe healing is, you don't know nothing, the coach is going to ask you to, watch a class or read a book. So, but we are working on producing meetings. So we'll see. I think that's going to be a better option.
So, quick question. Hadsy is asking, how do I get your book? I don't know which book they're talking about.
Yeah, a lot of people do that with no S, right? No. There's 10. There are 10 books. There's the red book, the blue book, the yellow book, the purple book, the green book. There's Peace Over Pain. There's Reverse the Cause. There's Dinner with Dr. Reese. And there's Take My Hand. And there's the children's book, Sunlight Sunny. That's 10. So you would get that on drkevinreese.com.
Oh, this is an update to Swixen, the brother question. Essentially, it's tingling and numbness in the feet and hands. 18 months, no one knows what's going on. We just go to the same place. You got to start them on the Red Book, get them into our website. Anything else? I mean, you already said.
Yeah, no numbness. I mean, that could be a compressed nerve. That could be a nutritional deficiency. Head to toe healing will take care of it.
What are your thoughts
That's
on
another question we get hit with all the time. What about this? What about that? Is it between the head and the toes? Shoulder shrug. Go ahead, Sean.
What are your thoughts on lion's mane?
Lion's mane, I had some today. It's in one of our products that we have inside of the membership. Ryan, you want to divulge a little bit on the infamous lion's mane that relaxes us a little bit?
Not really. You're more of the herbal guy. I usually only go to herbs if they're absolutely necessary, meaning if nutrition hasn't fixed the problem.
Yeah.
Then we'll go into herbs. We use some moderate doses of herbs in a lot of our products, but I don't go into therapeutic doses of anything unless it's necessary.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in one of our gut formulas. But it's known to relax you. And yeah.
Or brain too.
The brain too, yeah.
Cognition.
Yeah. All right, next question.
We're getting a lot of questions on TT about where can they get the books. Well, first question is what book should they start with? And then also, where do they go to get the books?
All 10 books are available on drkevinreese.com. If you can only buy one book, I would go with the red book. But some people might say Peace Over Pain. So it's between those two as to what the first one should be.
Big question. Someone keeps asking, I don't want to take my gallbladder out. They have gallstones. I've had 2 attacks. Any suggestions?
Yeah, go to drkevinreese.com and look at our testimonies, and you will see people who didn't have to get their gallbladder taken out because they got serious and they came in with us. Ryan, would you like to talk about gallbladder issues for a little bit?
Yeah, I saw them asking numerous times, and I was trying to respond. Maybe I did respond. It's hard to deal with it on the phone. If they go in and take your gallstones out with a surgery, they're most likely going to take the whole gallbladder out, now you have a permanent handicap. We need our gallbladder. Gallbladder is important. If there's stones in it, those stones are caused by a nutritional problem. You can fix that nutritional problem. We can guide you on how to do that. And then after you've topped yourself up properly, over about 3 or 4 months, we can safely flush those stones out. And it's not a big deal. It's not a difficult protocol. I assume you have other problems going on, but this problem by itself is a very simple thing to deal with. And if you have pain at all, if you went to the doctor in the first place because you had pain in that region, and then they looked and they said, oh, it's stones, and that must be the reason for the pain. Usually you just stop eating for a couple of days, 2 to 3 days, liquid fast, and pain in the gallbladder, liver, appendix, pancreas, usually it just goes away, 2 to 3 days. And then you stop eating the poor 4 foods immediately, and the pain will probably not come back. The pain is probably not caused by stones. But in any case, we can flush the stones out. You can get healthy. Take some steps. They're not difficult to do, but yeah, we can help you.
There you go. Next question.
Really quick, I didn't know how to pin the question on TT and the others, but I wanted to know which one of the poor 4 is troubling them the most to where they can't cut all 4 of the poor 4 foods. And Annette is asking what to use instead of olive oil, speaking of the poor 4 foods.
Instead of olive oil?
Yeah.
I mean, butter, ghee, tallow, something from an animal, something that's thick, saturated. Oils are no bueno. Unless you press it yourself and consume it within 10, 15 minutes. Let me know how that goes. It's our most controversial topic, I think. People just get so frustrated with the oils. Why do you think that is, Ryan? You think there's just some...
Well, there's
denial
been
going on?
70, 80 years of propaganda telling us that oils were, the best thing ever. And that's the reason the Mediterranean people are so healthy and all that. Most of the audience here is going to be American. I think you should visit the Mediterranean and you'll see that they're not that healthy. Many of them are. They have a more active lifestyle and they get lots of sunshine and they have generally real food that's home cooked and stuff, a lot more than we do, a lot less processed foods. But we have so many European customers and Mediterranean customers that's just proof alone that their grains are not magically perfect and their diet is not magically perfect. There's problems all over the world, including the Mediterranean. And here in America especially, we suck at cooking. In general, we suck at cooking. We know how to put things in the microwave, and I'm speaking me too, right? I was raised on breakfast cereals and pizzas and just junk, Our idea of cooking is like taking something out of a package and mixing it into water, or again, stirring it up and putting it in the microwave. And then when we finally do learn to cook, in quotes there, almost everyone in this side of the world, all we know how to do is put oil in a pan and put the food on the oil. So a lot of people, I think, feel very lost when they don't have that. Meanwhile, it's a terrible way to cook. And it's actually difficult to do. My best friend's a real chef. It's difficult to stir fry things properly. And that's why most people's food is so boring and so bland. And over here, they need to use all these sauces and stuff, which are mostly just sugar and garbage and oil in it, right? We got dressings and sauces for everything. There's 20,000 dressings in your average American grocery store. And that's because we all don't know how to cook. And if you just throw things in a stir fry, you're lost. You're lost. Learn to use the oven, learn to cook in other cooking mediums, but in general, stir frying things not the way to go. It's difficult to do. It's difficult not to mess it up. It's very easy to mess it up and burn things, and even using animal fats, it's easy to burn fats. You say, Dr. Reese, if it's sizzling, you're fizzling.
Yeah.
90% of the people watching this only know how to sizzle. It's the only way they know how to cook.
Yep.
And you got to learn different. And we help you with that too.
Yeah. Yeah, get rid of the
Most
oils.
people that we have in the membership are older women, and they actually do know how to cook. Most of them, the majority of them. For them, it's actually really easy because all they have to do is switch the type of flour that they use and switch the cooking base. When they do stir fry things, they switch the cooking base and lower the temperature a bit. The rules are not hard to follow for them. It's everyone else that trips out about it because they have no idea how to cook in general.
Right. Good point. Next question.
Searching through. What is the best advice you can give for sleep apnea?
Get the blue book, the sleep solution. You know, you need head to toe healing. Sleep apnea could be a nutritional deficiency. It could also be a postural issue. In my opinion, it's a postural issue most of the time. And some people would say that sleep apnea is very normal, and the medical system has just made it into a new disease to make cash flow. If you watch dogs and babies, they have sleep apnea naturally. So there you go. We have people who come into the membership with sleep apnea and they don't, a few months later. Just so it's kind of like acid reflux. It's not one of those conditions that lasts. It just gets neutralized quick. It's not a hard one, is what I'm saying.
Here's a question about air fryers. A lot of people are trying to go
Ooh.
oil free in their cooking. How do you feel about air fryers?
Well, you're still browning it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, Ryan. What say you?
Oh man, it's the same answer that I just get. It's such an American thing. And I'm in America here, guys. I see this everywhere. We suck at cooking and they sell us all this stuff to try and take away that handicap when it really is not that difficult to just learn how to cook. Honestly. Again, I grew up eating pizza pockets and whatever. I can now bake my own bread and make my own cookies if I want and bake a roast beef. I make a whole dinner. I can make a whole Christmas dinner by myself. You do not need to go to school for it. You just need to learn the basics around a kitchen. You might need some basic equipment. Like forget an air fryer, buy a tabletop mixer. You're good to go. And I know you guys love the slow cooker, and I don't mind the slow cooker either. Slow cooker is kind of in the same category where it makes it extremely easy to cook, but the slow cooker doesn't have the same problems as air frying. Air frying still uses a bit of oil, number one. Number two, it uses extremely high temperatures. So you're burning stuff. Like you just said, Dr. Reese, you're burning stuff. And this can be complicated. It's not just fats. Everything can burn. Using high temperatures with anything makes it more problematic.
Yeah.
Makes it more of a health hazard. And you just don't want to deal with it. Throw the air fryer out. It's junk. Don't give it to anyone.
We like using pressure cookers because you're cooking with steam, and your tender the meats are just gonna fall apart. They're just amazing. So
Pressure cookers and slow cookers, both, same category to me. They're
Yeah.
way, way better. It is a tool to make it dummy proof, basically.
yeah.
Just like the air fryer, but yeah, it's not as problematic as the air fryer.
Oh my gosh, I've impressed people so many times with leftover pressure cooked meals. Never mind on the spot. Like, no, afterwards it goes in a glass Tupperware, goes in the fridge, and 3 days later you whip it back out, put it back in the pressure cooker, and put it on saute to warm it up. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's leftovers. So we are going to have a cooking channel on YouTube someday soon to go with my book, Dinner with Dr. Reese. And yeah, we'll show you.
I wanted to add more onto the air fryer because I have roommates that use the air fryer, and I don't like it. Starts off, you clean it every day, but then you get lazy, and then just crumbs everywhere, and those crumbs start to burn, and then every time you cook the food, the crumbs burn more, and all of that gets into your food. Not to mention it's still that non-stick material lining the whole air fryer. So you're putting those fumes into your food and into the air as well. Um, I've heard numerous cases from prospects, just like they're saying, I get headaches or they just feel nauseous when the air fryer is going on. And I think it's just a problematic thing. I think we just need to ditch the air fryer. It's technically just baking. I mean, if we're being serious, it's the same thing, but you're doing it in a smaller space, and it's just an American thing, as Ryan says. Um, the next question, someone's asking, besides pressure cooking and slow cooking, what other ways are good to cook? Is smoking meats bad?
That's interesting. What do you think about smoking meats, Ryan?
It's very problematic because there is carcinogens in the smoke, and I mean this is true with charcoal. It's true with propane. Any of this type of stuff, you're blanketing the meat in carcinogens. It's debatable. There's a big debate going on about this. It's been going on for more than 20 years about how important that is because the quantities are kind of small compared to like eating oxidized oil. A teaspoon of oxidized oil weighs a lot. It's very heavy. So just the sheer amount of molecules that you're putting in your body that are oxidized and carcinogenic outweighs things like smoke. You compare vegetable oil to cigarette smoke a lot, right? It's the same sort of concept, whereas there's definitely, no one's arguing, it's definitely carcinogenic. It's just how much carcinogens can we actually tolerate? And for me personally, I want to limit the carcinogens. I don't personally see the appeal of smoked meat. I know some people really, really love it. We like making our own jerky. We don't smoke it. We just do it at very low temperature in the oven. Takes a while when we do it at such low temperature, but yeah, it's problematic. It's just debatable on how problematic it is.
Sean, one more question from the public, and we'll go to our members in the Zoom room.
We have a super chat from YouTube. Eduardo is asking,
What the heck's a
what?
super chat?
Donation.
A donation?
Yeah.
$7 donation.
Wow, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, Eduardo, thank you. He's asking, what advice can you give for prostatitis?
Well, you're talking inflammation of a gland here. It's more than likely a nutritional deficiency, but could also be a postural issue, right? The pelvis and the pelvic floor are all in that area. So we recommend head to toe healing. Not to be repetitious, but that's going to be the answer for everything, unless it's an infection or an emergency. So, you need head to toe healing. The prostate is in between the head and the toes. Head to toe healing. And so if you practice head to toe healing, your symptoms will start to dissipate. They will go down. So you want to get an analysis. And by getting the analysis, we can count your symptoms. We can see what's going on with your nutrition, see what's going on with your mental health, see what's going on with your posture, and connect the dots. So
I'd like to add too that we typically see very good results with prostatitis. Me personally, in over 10 years, to my memory, I don't think we've ever had more than one difficult case. There was one man where it took me several months to figure it out, and I figured out it was actually a thyroid problem and his whole system was slow. Which that's another thing, once you're in the program, we're there to help you. You don't just get a piece of paper with a protocol on it and off you go. And we expect you and encourage you to keep us updated on your progress and let us know what happens, and so we can adjust on the fly. We can adjust it each month depending on what's going on. And if you have something a little bit trickier, like a thyroid problem, metabolic problem, then we're there to help you sort it out too.
make the move. Call drreese.com. Make the appointment. Make a step.
Really quick, Dr. Reese, can we discuss nitrates? Because I know a lot of foods that are poor for friendly or seemingly poor for food friendly have nitrates, and it's like those beef sticks. Mostly it's the beef sticks, or it's like bacon, or just any type of processed meat. Usually is what people go to for an on-the-go snack. But I don't think people know that we don't agree with nitrates and nitrites either.
No. And I think you can get bacon and sausage without it. I'm pretty sure. Isn't that correct, Ryan? You just gotta
Yeah,
look.
you usually just have to go to a butcher.
Yeah.
And I see them all over the place now, by the way. Butchers were on the wane for quite a while. They were becoming hard to find. And now, as I'm going around cities and suburbs, I'm seeing more and more of them. And many of them are advertising that, by the way, right on the windows. No nitrates.
Yeah.
But don't a lot of people use that term, but still use like celery salt or
They do
celery
that in the
powder?
fake health stores.
Mm.
Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Sprouts, fake health stores selling fake health food. So they'll have these bacons and turkey, salamis and whatever with celery in it as well. And actually, all vegetables, I think all vegetables, but most of them at least, contain nitrates. It's just when they come from a vegetable in its natural state and you don't overcook it, you don't overheat it, it doesn't convert to nitrosamines in the body. Nitrosamines are the actual problem. And we can get nitrosamines from runoff from fertilizer as well, right? Remember, nitrate is one of the keystones of fertilization. So if that accumulates in the groundwater and stuff, it can kill livestock. It can kill humans potentially if they drink it. If the well was polluted with nitrosamines, and people test their wells for this as well. So yeah, when celery, if you just eat celery, it's not a problem. But if it's superheated, as in the processing process of making fake health food, then it is absolutely a nitrosamine and it's absolutely harmful. And not only is it a known carcinogen, and just like smoked meat, it's also been widely debated on how much of a carcinogen it is. No one's debating that it is carcinogenic. They're just debating on how much it is, how much we can tolerate, especially because the Chinese consume quite a lot of it and they have much lower rates of cancer. So clearly they're doing other things to balance that at least. They don't have zero cancer. Even in Hong Kong, which is #1 for longevity right now, they have a serious cancer problem. Just throwing that out there. But nitrates and nitrosamines are also heavy goitrogens, which means they suppress the thyroid as well. Way more than any broccoli and Brussels sprouts and anything. It's one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful goitrogen that you could be exposed to.
All right. I think now is the time to go to our members, our beautiful members that are head to toe healing from all over the world. And if anyone wants to become a member or at least start the process, go to calldrreese.com and set an appointment and start the process. Then you can be in the Zoom room.
There was one comment I'd like to touch on from the members.
Sure.
Felicia was saying, it took me a few months to come off the poor 4 because I had to mourn the loss of comfort foods. It just shows that it's more of a mind thing. But once I made my mind over, I was excited to find ways to eat without them. It takes trial and error, but it's doable. I also believe that simplifying the meals, like the doc says, that's you, is the key. I thought it was going to get boring, but the fact that my mind feels better, my brain feels better, I haven't gotten sick of those meals, even though they're pretty much the same. And yeah, I wanted to comment that once you get healthy, and once you get topped up on nutrients too, and I know Felicia's come a long way already. She's seen her symptom score drop significantly already. Awesome. Once that starts to happen, you start to get topped up, you start to learn that a lot of your cravings were actually just mineral deficiency. Your body was actually just starving for minerals, and that's why it wanted all the sugar and all the salt. And once you fix that, you realize, wow, I guess I didn't really need that stuff in the first place. And many of us do actually eat very boring. A lot of the members have asked me to make a video about what I actually eat. And I'm saying that'd be a boring video because there's not that much to it. We are very repetitive. We spice it up with spices and stuff like that. The food tastes good. It's just, we don't feel the need for this huge variety and all the sugar and stuff like that. And if you want treats, you can have treats too. You can make your own treats. We're not banning treats. It's just going to be way better for you if you make them yourself. You don't have all the extra nonsense, the food dyes and preservatives and all this stuff. You make your own cookies. You control the amount of sugar that's in it. You can use other things like dates and honey and stuff to offset the processed sugar. You don't have to use processed sugar at all. You can lower the temperature on your oven so you're not burning the stuff. I have treats. I like treats. Yeah, she's saying she thought it would be boring. And the truth is, if you look at the menu of the average health person, like I know a lot of people in this business, including everyone here in this virtual room, we probably do eat quite boring on paper, but it tastes good and it doesn't bother you. And if your body's not screaming for minerals, then it's not going to be a big deal.
Yeah. All right, Tamara, do you
Hi.
have people in our membership that have questions in the chat?
Yeah, well, when we started, I had made a comment. I was curious if anyone had any struggles. And I don't know if a lot of you had seen the chat, but I was asking any of you, what is the biggest mind shift you've had since starting the head to toe healing? We'd love to hear that aspect of it. And I know Felicia also had commented, the biggest mind shift I've noticed for myself is that I can now immediately identify the inner child going wild. I now use the outline to calm it down immediately. I've been able to prevent the downward spiral that I usually go down.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you start observing and nurturing and consoling your inner child, then you can navigate the world much differently. I say you can't control your inner child, but you can console your inner child. For sure.
Yeah. There's a comment from earlier. They're saying, Felicia's also saying, we need cups to drink your waffy in. Merchandise. The
Levi,
waffy cup.
we got to get mugs up on our new Amazon merch there.
Well, we have what's called a tumbler.
Tumbler.
Okay.
Okay. We
A
can't.
stainless steel cup, you know.
Okay.
Coffee
Okay.
or waffy.
Waffy. Yeah, there you go. Oh, we got a tumbler. Okay.
Someone was commenting that Deb is commenting, they go to the grocery store every day. So I will get a tote bag to take with me and make sure I sling it around a lot so everyone can see it. I will proudly advertise it.
That's right. I love my fake doctor tote bag available now and t-shirts on drkevinreese.com. But the wanted shirt is the best one. I mean,
Yeah. Deb also commented, my biggest mind shift is to have no negative thoughts. Only Santa Claus thoughts. Make the best of everything.
there you go. Peace and joy.
There's more. Let's see. Okay, Felicia. Another mindset shift is not looking as things as a quick fix diet and trust the process. I've gained a couple pounds instead of losing, and in the past, I would have allowed that to affect me deep down, but I know my mind and body are feeling better. I love how Ryan reassures us in our classes that this is nothing to worry about. Thank you, Ryan.
Nice.
And then we have Liz. Liz, I spoke with her earlier. We had a nice phone Zoom call. She's here in the membership because she's coming off her statins that made her have tingling and pain all over the body and itching. So she wanted to share that.
All right. Just keep practicing. Keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. You'll see. You will see.
And Felicia just was commenting that she gets a headache every time her husband uses the air fryer. Just the smell makes me feel sick. Deb loves her pressure cooker. She uses it all the time. She said, I made the Dr. Reese burger and sweet potato thing the other day. Simple, but very good.
There you go. Yeah, in the back of the Dinner with Dr. Reese cookbook, there's my simple man stuff.
And Felicia calls it love in a pan.
Love in a pan.
Love in a pan.
Love in a pan.
Felicia wants to also know, is organic corn poor for foods?
No. Nope. You can have organic corn. Just make sure it's not fried.
Especially if it's corn on the cob, it's totally fine. It takes like a barrel of corn on the cobs to make tortilla chips and stuff like that, right? So it's ultra concentrated when it's processed down. But if it's just actual raw corn, that's nothing. No big deal.
Yeah.
And someone was commenting about Paleo Valley meat sticks, clean and approved. And Applegate makes clean sausage and no nitrate bacon.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. Is there anyone that wants to talk to Dr. Reese?
Yeah. Any victories? I mean, if you have a question, that's cool too. But any victories? Would love to hear that. Last week we ran out of time, but a few people were saying that their vision was getting better in the Head to Toe Healing membership. So I would love to hear more about that if anyone's available to talk about that. But yeah, if anyone wants to come on and talk, I'm here.
Carrie just commented that the beef stroganoff is a hit with a few minor changes.
Okay. Good.
Anyone have a question?
Yes, I'm fact checking those paleo sticks. They all have celery in them.
They do. Okay. See?
And it's celery juice, but that juice becomes a powder when they heat it for the processing.
Tricky labeling.
Most things with paleo on the package are a scam. Just saying.
Okay. And Catherine wants to know, Dr. Reese, the Lara bars are good, but each one has a minimum of 4 teaspoons of white sugar.
I mean, as long as you're topped off on your nutrients to processed sugar, I don't see a problem with it. Thanks, Sean. Nice.
No, I
Cammy.
wanted to say that we usually go for the cashew cookie ones or the ones with less ingredients. Those don't have added sugar in it. But yeah, as Dr. Reese was saying, I mean, I think we're just taught, like, of course, to a degree, overeating sugar is bad, yes. But then the health world is like, no sugar at all, don't touch it. And I don't think that you have to like completely avoid it like the plague. I think every now and then you can have a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
It's good for the microbiome, and I don't see anything wrong with it. It's just overdoing it. I think that's what we're doing. We're
Yeah.
abusing the foods.
Yeah. You got to be able to handle it. You got to be topped off on certain nutrients that I'm not going to mention. And yeah.
What about peanut butter and almond butter? Okay or not?
Well, you got to look at it, make sure there's no oil chilling at the top. You know?
And Liz is asking, well, what if you cook celery as vegetables? Is that okay?
It all depends on the temperature. Slow cooking it like in a stir fry plate there, as long as it's not sizzling, it should be fine. Just like onions, you cook it at low temperature at a slow pace. Low and slow is the golden rule for us. It becomes translucent just like onions. That's fine. You just never sizzling it.
Yeah. And someone's commenting about Rise bars, that they're clean. I don't know. I've never seen those.
Anything in a bar is probably junk, guys. And it's a ripoff. It's a waste of money. I'm so cheap, I don't buy that stuff. I was gonna say never. It's almost. No, I gotta be starving. All that stuff is a ripoff.
Yeah.
You don't need anything in a package, honestly. If you want treats, make your own treat.
Yeah, and Deb was commenting, Tamara, I like the RX blueberry bars. They are great. I heard you talk about them and I tried them. And when I have had those RX bars, it's really when I've been somewhere where I'm hungry and I'm not home, and it's every once in a while. It's not like I'm chowing down on them every day, but those at least have 4 ingredients. So
yeah, those ones with the 4 ingredients, they're okay. They're also very easy to make for yourself if you want.
Yeah.
If it only has 4 ingredients, it can't be that hard to put them together.
Yeah.
I'm always traveling with dates and figs and a little bit of nuts. I travel across the continent regularly. That's my snack. Never buy a snack from the grocery store or anything. Especially not these fake health foods. I don't know. Something about them angers me. Because at least an O. Henry bar, you know, a regular chocolate bar or something, they're not hiding anything. They're not pretending to be anything that they're not. They're like, you know, you know you want me. I'm a drug, buy me. That's all it is. Right? But you got all these companies making these fake health chips and fake health bars. And even if they are truly healthy, like I genuinely don't have a problem with the RX bars. Even if they are truly fine, they're still ripping you off. The
Yeah,
price
they're
of those things
expensive.
are outrageous. I would rather buy a big tub of dates
Yeah.
and enjoy myself with it for the same price as like one or two of those little bars.
Yeah, one bar of the RX, I think when you can get them for, if they're on sale, $2. Usually like $3.50 for one little bar. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's nuts. You could cross the desert with a little handful or one of those uh, little buckets of dates. You could live on that for days and days, no problem.
Let's see. Deb is saying that frozen yogurt cookies are my go-to. Just yogurt, plain Greek, peanut butter, and maple syrup.
That sounds very simple, yeah.
Donna says she eats a lot of walnuts, pumpkin seeds, dates, and sunflower seeds, and got super fat.
That might be because of all the omega-6 in there, the seeds.
Yep. The questions for Nick, that's all the questions. Does anyone have anything to say? Don't be shy. Sometimes people cannot tolerate nuts. Yes, that's true.
They say nuts? Oh yeah, very very common.
Yeah.
Nuts are problematic in high doses for sure. So when Donna said a lot, you know, the a lot part is probably the key there.
You know, nuts have are full of oxalates.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't eat any nuts.
We definitely don't require nuts. We don't need them.
Yeah.
Sue says nuts make me nuts. I can overeat them. Yeah. True.
Yeah, they have all those alternative like almond tortillas now that are gluten-free, but it's probably have a lot of almonds in there and oil.
Well, if I may, because Donna said a lot and often, and if I may tie this into what you guys were just talking about a second ago with, you know, sugar's not the enemy sort of thing. In this program, we have a lot of chronic dieters. They've been dieting for years. They've been starving themselves for years. I have been recommending that many of them increase their food intake, especially the ones who have been dieting for years and have failed to lose weight, or they've plateaued. The reason they've plateaued is because their metabolism is still out of whack, and you can't just fast your way out of it. You can't just starve your way out of it. You're clearly plateaued. I've seen 400-pound people on starvation diets that gain weight, right? They need to kickstart their metabolism. Sugar's not the enemy. Somebody who's binging on nuts and dates and sunflower seeds and all this stuff, clearly you're still hungry, right? So it sounds like you're depriving yourself of all the other stuff that you need, cutting your calories down and then just not being able to take it and say, okay, I'll snack on this stuff because this stuff's healthy. When really you probably need more protein from real foods, especially meat and eggs and stuff, more fat from the same sources, and probably actual carbs like potatoes and rice. I've been recommending that lots of the members start eating potatoes and rice. A lot of them have been avoiding carbs for years. And where has it gotten you? Right? It gets you trapped in a low metabolic state. And a lot of these same members are dealing with thyroid problems and other symptoms of a chronic metabolic disorder, which just supplementing is not going to get you out of. You need to utilize foods. And if you're starving and then you're pigging out on anything, you know, it's just not going to do it. And nuts and seeds and that stuff, yeah, all the omega-6s, and it's not the way to eat. It's not the way to eat. It's a supplement to real food. We need to eat more real food. And many of the members have been starving themselves for too long, and they need to eat more, actually, to get themselves out of that.
Deb commented, sometimes I make pancakes, 1 bananas and 2 eggs and cinnamon, no need for syrup. Gluten-free, I hope. Donna's asking, is any kind of rice okay? Brown, white, wild?
Well, brown has fiber in it. I like black. I like wild rice. It's a little higher calorie, but you know the black wild rice. I really like wild rice. From
And then
Minnesota.
Donna's commenting, I've never starved myself, but want foods that are single ingredients, including cheese, nuts, avocados, rice, potatoes, eggs, and meat, and eat a lot of those too. And Catherine wants to know, should I get my labs done first before I start? So I know what I need. Thank you.
No. No, your symptom score is most important. But you can get blood labs done, you know, after you're about 4 to 6 months into the membership.
Hey, Ryan, what type of dates do you buy? What brand? And figs?
Here in America, I'm in Texas right now. I have not found a date in America that I actually like. But we just got a new Turkish restaurant open, or grocery store open up. I'm gonna try some of theirs. I like this one in Canada, Parnouche. I don't know if it's available in America. Are you in America?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to find good dates here.
Yeah.
America has a problem because it has a problem with the countries that dates come from. Honestly, whenever I'm crossing the borders, they inspect my dates and they look up where they came from. And if they're from certain countries, they won't let you bring them in.
I feel like in California, most of our good dates come from our farmers markets. The farmers come out that have decent ones, but
Yeah, but they're all
Hadley
from California.
dates? Someone said
not the
Hadley
same.
dates?
Hadley?
Yeah, someone just said that on the chat. Hadley dates or something from California. I don't know.
I've never
Okay.
been a fan of California dates. I don't know. I'm a hater.
Really?
I'm a hater.
So as far as the sugar that dates and figs have in them, and that's okay? That's because it's natural sugar?
Yeah,
Or-
guys, even processed sugar. The problem with processed sugar is that it doesn't have nutrients in it, and we're already nutrient deficient. We need nutrients to process sugar. If we had the nutrients to process the sugar, it actually wouldn't be a problem. I know a lot of people right now are typing on Facebook like, "What the heck is this guy talking about?" We're not the only ones who have been saying this for years. Sugar is not the enemy. It's nutrient deficiencies that is the enemy. And back to those people who are gaining weight by eating a little bit of nuts and whatever, when your body is metabolically starving, it will try to gain weight with whatever you put in it. Put any food in. It's going to say, oh, please, 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 let me keep it. Let me hoard it because I'm starving. You're in starvation mode all the time from chronic dieting. This doesn't apply to everyone. This just applies to the majority of the people in the membership because you guys have been trying to heal yourself for so long.
Yeah.
So you'll gain weight with practically anything if your metabolism is still slow. And you probably need more food to fix that. And you'll probably gain a little bit of weight at the beginning. And that's okay when you make that change.
Sugar
Yeah,
is not part of the poor four foods.
No, it's not.
People
It
flip out
freaks
over that.
people out.
Yeah.
It has always freaked people out. Why don't you guys outlaw sugar? Because you can't outlaw sugar. Your body takes all food and turns it into sugar in the body. If you're carnivore, your body's taking that carnivore food and turning it into sugar in the body.
Makes
And
sense.
I mean, look at Asia. I love this analogy. Look at Asia. It's the skinniest continent in the world, and they eat tons of carbs.
Rice, sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
Think of the people who eat the most dates, Arabs, and people in camel caravans and stuff, and they're all slim. I'm slim. I eat tons of dates, right? Way more than an average nutritionist or dietitian would say is okay. Your body won't gain the weight if your metabolism is healthy. And you won't overeat if your metabolism is healthy as well.
That's why we need those 90 essential nutrients. And we need that head to toe healing.
Yeah.
Any other questions in there, Tamara? Or comments?
Just more about dates. Janet, are you here? Janet has a comment about she watched your interview with Lydia.
Lucia.
And she said Dr. Reese was very informative, but when the words "she's just my sweet girl" came out.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else he said was a blur. I was wondering why I had to find out this way. I've been praying for him every day for years. I was so happy for him. I went right to Amazon and bought the t-shirt. What was the part about she just my sweet girl? I don't remember that. Or maybe I didn't see that one.
Special girl. Yeah, she's talking about a girlfriend. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just
I missed that.
just a little nugget in there for anyone paying attention. Obviously, Janet is paying attention. Spent the whole day with her today, Janet. Any other comments or questions?
That's it for right now. Oh, wait, nope. Oh, I heard it. Okay, congrats. You getting married?
Who getting married?
I'm reading, I heard it. Congrats. I don't know. I missed it. Why you look so tired today, Doc?
I'm too young to get married.
Oh boy. Is sourdough okay?
That's an interesting one, right? I would love to hear what Ryan has to say about the sourdough.
If it's gluten free, it's fine.
Usually it's not.
Usually it's not. If you buy it, usually it's not. Yeah. And I mentioned this on Instagram today too. People always ask this question. They say, "What about sourdough?" They're just desperate to keep bread in their life. And I just like to say, you can have bread. Just make it gluten free. Because all these people, anyone who I ever talk to who's on sourdough, the only reason I'm talking to them is because they have a health problem. Right? Why would you come to us if you didn't have a health problem? So if you're telling me that I'm okay on sourdough, but you still have a health problem, my advice is get rid of the sourdough. It's very simple. And we have a lot of information about that within the program too. I've made tons of modules, and I started off with food and digestion because this is the keystone of the whole concept of nutrition. People can't get their heads around this gluten thing and, oh, we've been eating wheat for thousands of years. What happened? What changed? A lot changed. And even if you buy the ancient wheat and stuff, again, I've had
Is that
hundreds of people.
the icorn one that they keep bringing up? I keep hearing the icorn.
I've seen hundreds of people on these so-called ancient grains and the sourdough and the so-called healthier stuff, and they ship it in from Europe and whatever, and they still have a health problem. And most of the time, it's an obvious digestion problem as well. And the answer is very easy. Stop it. Stop it. Just use gluten-free flour. It's not that difficult. You can make sourdough. You can even get a gluten-free starter for the sourdough. But I personally don't care about that. Any starter is fine. I don't care if it was grown on gluten to begin with, unless you're extremely sensitive. Most people aren't. Just use gluten-free flour to actually make the bread.
Can I just share something really quick?
Mm-hmm.
So I've been off gluten now for 3 years, right? I kept hearing the whole, do the icorn or do the sourdough as long as it's fermented. My dad came over. He wanted a sourdough sandwich. He's not going to listen to me. I made him one. Then I thought, I can just have a bite or two. It's sourdough. I was inflamed for 2 weeks. Couldn't even open my hands, felt like they're arthritic. It was so awful, completely not worth it. So there you have it.
Yeah, no, when you're off gluten and then you dive back into it, it hits hard.
It was horrible. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why we get everyone off it right away.
Yeah. I just think, gosh, my whole life eating that, what it was doing to my body, you just don't realize it at the time because you're constantly eating it every day and your body just, so you start getting off those foods and then go back. It's just like, wow, big lesson.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like today is mostly about food.
Well, food's the part that people have the biggest trouble with, actually. And when it comes to posture alignment therapy, most of the people seem to have a very easy time doing it and they enjoy it. All the feedback that I've gotten, except for a few people who are pretty handicapped, everyone else is, this is easy and it's enjoyable. Awesome. Just like they like going to spin classes and yoga and whatever, you know, you just show up and let the instructor do it. You do it for an hour and you're good. Easy. Supplementing, easy. It couldn't get any easier to supplement. The only hard part people have is paying for it, right? It's not that expensive either, but it's just, you know, it's an expense. But actually taking supplements is the simplest thing ever.
Right.
Making food choices is difficult, or it's much more difficult. It requires commitment, is the thing, and so people get hung up on it, and they have to relearn everything. And a lot of people have to start from scratch learning how to cook. They've never cooked anything before. That was me, right? Processed foods all the way. I had to completely learn how to use a stove and whatever, an oven. Never used an oven in my entire life. You got to learn how restaurants operate, and you know, eating at restaurants can be tricky. It's just, it requires more commitment than anything else in this whole health scheme here, this whole head to toe healing. Foods require the most effort to learn.
Yeah. And I have one last question here. Oh, about quinoa. Thoughts on quinoa?
Quinoa is a really good name for a dog. But yeah, it's technically not a poor for food, but if you have a gut issue, you might want to stay away from it.
Okay. Oh, Dr.
But
Reese.
it is a good name for a dog.
Catherine wants to know, have you bought a gluten-free pizza, and from where?
I used to get them from Aldi's all the time. That's what
Yeah.
I
You
was
got me
eating.
on oil.
Yeah, but they just started, if I'm not mistaken, they just started putting oils in it. So
Yeah.
it was gluten and oil free for a while, and then they changed it.
Someone was asking on Facebook, Dr. Reese, if you ever eat at restaurants.
Yeah, I have to. I have a girlfriend. What do you? Yes. It's mandatory.
What's your protocol?
Steak. I pretty much don't go anywhere where there's not a steak. And
How do you
so
tell them to cook it?
rare. Rare steak, cooked in butter, no oils, no gluten. Same with the potatoes. I just keep it simple, simple, simple. And she pretty much follows my lead as well. So I just, same thing. So.
Oh, are yams as healthy as sweet potatoes?
Yeah, I don't have an exact explanation, but yeah, I mean, I would assume so.
Okay. Carrie commented, we always barbecued steak. We boil it now in a quick warm.
What do you eat at restaurants, Levi? Sean, what does Levi eat at restaurants?
I go.
Peanuts and wine.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I hardly eat anything in restaurants. I don't go out to restaurants
Yeah.
because they all put the horrible oils.
Yeah, you got to instruct them not to, but they're also very overpriced too.
Crazy overpriced.
Oh yeah. Steak is going to be $50 easy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's about it for questions and comments in the members room. Oh boy. Anything else?
People are still commenting about
Oh.
steaks. Carrie boils them, boil it, and then a quick warm in a pan with butter for flavor.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a great way to cook it. And actually, I also do a lot of pressure cooking, as you know.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was last week, my lady came over. I put 2 ribeyes in the pressure cooker with potatoes, and it was amazing. Like, because the ribeye it just fell apart. And so you got this incredible steak in small pieces mixed in with the potatoes. It was out of this world. So don't when you think of steak, don't just think you know, it's got to be sizzled up, and you know, the pressure cooker will do some wild things to your favorite foods, give you a whole new outlook. And those ribeyes were only $14 each. You go to a restaurant, that's $40, $50. But that's another topic for another day.
And then Laura had commented, I've been slow cooking roasts and they taste better than pressure cooked to me. Am I sacrificing nutrients?
No, I don't think so. Pressure cooking and slow cooking are pretty much the same thing. It's just slow cooking is slow cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Pressure cooking is faster cooking because it's pressurized. So the pressure cooker wins from a convenience standpoint, I think. But slow cookers are good too.
Okay. Brian, what do you use to cook?
Bake?
To cook. Maria's
Well, what do you use to cook? Well, it's a bit of a weird question. Okay, well, I live in two places, and one of them is with my wife, and the other one is with my best friend who is a chef. So I don't do a whole lot of cooking, but when I do, I use, if it's steak we're talking about, I usually put the heat on. This is a flat pan. There's nothing on the pan. It's just a cast iron pan turned up high, so it's steaming, super hot. Throw the steak on it immediately. Let it sizzle. I know you said if it's sizzling, it's fizzling, but there's no oil here. Quick. 30 seconds, flip it. 30 seconds, take it off, sit it on the pan. It's a very lazy way to do it. You're done in minutes. You just got to let it sit for 5 minutes, let it rest so it doesn't spill out all the juices when you cut into it. Season it after. Season it when it's on the plate. That's my method of cooking steak.
So it's not going in the
like
oven
the-
at all. It's just, it's super rare.
Quick seared, yeah. Well, no, it's not super rare because it's high. It is high heat. It's just you're not on long enough to burn it. There's no grill, so there's no charcoal or anything. There's no black marks or anything like that. It's just and it's not too thick. It won't work with a very thick steak, but moderate thickness. Sizzle, flip, done. Rest it.
Okay.
And I do like to bake. I do like to make breads and cookies and stuff. Usually that's my duties in the kitchen, whereas my wife and friend, they'll do the majority of the meal cooking. But I like to use the oven a lot, man. The oven was a godsend. I never knew how to use the oven. Now, if I am cooking for myself, it'll probably just be chicken in the oven because it's set it and forget it. It's awesome. You just season the meat, throw it in the oven, walk away, set the timer. Potatoes, easy.
Yep.
And Catherine is commenting, I read the Purple Book in 4 hours. Dr. Reese, very deep.
Who said that?
Catherine.
4 hours, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Linda wants to know, which book did you write about love and romance?
Oh, did I write about that? Well,
Or you should.
Take My Hand has some things in there.
What slow cooker do you recommend? Is there a certain brand?
No. Crock pot is usually the one everyone talks about.
Felicia has been saying, said that she's making it the way Dr. Reese says in the book. It's amazing and juicy. I do the same. I let it rest for 10 minutes with salt. Going back to the steak.
Yeah.
Okay. Denise has a comment. The interview with Lucia was very interesting. I was blown away with her own issue with her loved one. I'm happy that you, Dr. Reese, have a very special person girlfriend. I was very intrigued with an interview, Dr. Reese, where Dr. Reese actually described his transition through the years and how Dr. Reese came to be now. Personally, my favorite book has been Piece of Her Pain. but I have yet to complete Dr. Reese's recent books. The red book was good, but I passed it on to people to awaken them. It's up to them to decide what to do with their lives.
Well said. Well said. Yeah, those two Lucia interviews, the one from 24 and then now the one from 25. There's a lot of heaviness in both of those. She's such a good interviewer. I almost want to just not do any more interviews. Just bring Lucia in, like.
Yeah. And that's it.
But if you watch those two interviews too, you'll see that, you know, when I talk about the threats and whatnot in 24, she's just kind of like, come on, no. And then in 25, she's like, I get it now, because she went through hell with her loved one. And so now she understands. And so sometimes people just don't understand until they have to go through it themselves. You know?
Yeah.
You just gotta be careful not to get stuck. If you notice, all your loved ones that are having serious troubles, you'll notice that they're stuck. And of course, in the red book, I call this medical prison. And you know, my dad's in medical prison, and he knows it. It's like he's behind the bars, and he's like, no, I get it, you know, I know, but I'm stuck. What are you gonna do, you know? And I'm sure many of our members have people like that too. And then, you know, Lucia's loved one, same thing. He got stuck in medical prison. You can't get out. It's very hard to get out once you're in there. And you're on 15, 20, 30 drugs. And you're getting cut up all the time. And the surgeries, or you're stuck on chemical therapy or whatever they put you on, and you're just stuck. And then I come along saying, hey, take my hand, we got this head to toe healing thing, it works, look at this, boom, 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 look at all the proof, look at the testimonies. It's like today somebody asked me, like, how do your testimonials do when you put out the videos? I'm like, horrible. Look, I whipped out the TikTok and there's a beautiful video of Susan talking about her sciatica being gone. It's like this tremendously amazing story, like this very emotional thing. The video gets 700 views. But then I talk about statin drugs, it gets 50,000 views. So people aren't ready. They're not ready. They're not ready. They're not ready for head to toe healing yet. And I don't know how long it's going to take. Damned if I know.
It's funny that the testimonials are the least controversial thing that you and we offer the world. And yeah, I've had the same problem on my accounts. I stopped sharing testimonials a long time ago because no one cares. It's crazy. You think they'd care? People saying, hey, you know, I had 15 symptoms or whatever, and now they're all gone. It was awesome. And you think that that's the thing that people would care about because there's no arguing about it, right? We can say this and that about olive oil and whatever, and people freak out. You know, it's the most controversial thing they've ever heard. And yet you have real people telling their real stories that are clearly not actors, you know, and nobody cares. Crickets. It's weird.
Yeah.
The only people who care are the medical establishment.
You would think that our video testimonies would go viral. The only one we've ever had do big numbers is the, you know, Kim's tumor that dissolved in the birth canal. Well, every other one, you know, yeah, it's interesting. It's like a study on human psychology, man. You know.
Catherine's saying the testimony is encouraging, I think. And absolutely, the few people that watch them should be encouraged by it, and I'm sure somebody out there watched it and said, you know what, okay, I'm gonna give this a go. This sounds awesome. I want that result.
Well, that's why we put it in the green book too. It's just a bunch of testimonials, you know, and there's more. It's just because they keep happening, you know. They're just amazing, and you know, we put together the membership landing page just the other day, and Levi and I put together this little reel of testimonials on video just from the membership in the last 9 months. And you know, when you watch it back to back to back to back to back, there's no way there. I don't think there's a way that someone can be like, "No, this isn't for me." How? Because you know, people are healing head to toe. They are healing head to toe, and it's right there in front of our eyes. It's happening. It is happening. And to see it back to back to back to back is totally different. I'm telling you right now, you should all go watch. All you members, you should go watch. You might shed a darn tear. Because it's not just you healing, it's this person and that person and this person and that person and this person and that person. And it's like, wow, we're all doing it, you know, as a collective. And that's what's so cool about this membership. And so it's hard to believe it's been 9 months. And I'm looking forward to see what, you know, the next 9 months brings. And see how many people make their way here. Only people that are meant to be here are going to end up here. So, I guess that's that for tonight.
Hey, Dr. Reese, really quick. We have some people on TT saying that you're AI. Can you do something funny so they so they know you're not AI? Get really close to the camera. I don't know.
He's not AI. Put your hand in the air, wave them like you just don't
They're going to
care.
start AIing me at some point. There was a video out that just, I don't know, it might have came out a minute ago, but I just saw it yesterday. And it was on TikTok, and it was somebody translated me into Spanish, a video that I did, and they must have used AI because they had my voice.
And you were speaking fast.
Yes. So they must have took it and they must have sped it up, and it's like me speaking Spanish fast.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
You should do more of those.
If you want to produce them, yeah.
Got a Spanish market out there.
Yeah, let's start a new Spanish page.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
Any other questions on TT, Sean, before we get out of here? Because it is buzzing over here. I just can't see it.
Pedals is saying, are you only answering questions to your members?
No, I did the public for the first 30 minutes. So stop back in next Tuesday at 6. Anything else?
A lot of questions. Wait, do you think acupuncture is helpful?
Yeah. But it's not a heal all. It's not head to toe healing.
We got someone saying testimonials are dung. I can pay anyone to receive testimonials. They saw Martians. What?
Yeah. Yeah, imagine if I gave hundreds and hundreds of people money to talk on camera.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. We'd be out of business. Anything else?
Let's see. Do you recommend a probiotic after antibiotics? No, that's 1 second. Yeah, well, you're good. I don't see anymore.
Okay. All right. I was just trying to show the TT a little extra love because we just started going back on there. It's a little bit of the Wild Wild West. So I don't know if they're up on head to toe healing yet. So yeah, get with the program, drkevinreese.com. Buy a book, read up on stuff, go watch the testimonies. There's hundreds of them. And that's that. To all our members, thank you for being here every Tuesday. And yeah, if you have questions for me throughout the week, just write them, jot them down. We'll bring you in next Tuesday and we'll talk. And yes, those t-shirts and tote bags are available on drkevinreese.com. And I hope to see you at the seminar June 7th in East Hartford, Connecticut. One time a year. Just one. Only come out to play once a year. All right. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much.